So now write on this. Insert two rationals between insert two rationals between 1.3 and 1.4. Insert two rationals between 1.3 and 1.4. So tell me two rational numbers. There are infinitely many rationals. Between two rational numbers, there are infinitely many rational numbers. There are infinitely many rational numbers lying between two rational numbers. Of those infinitely many, we need to just insert two rational numbers between 1.3 and 1.4. All right. So two rationals between 1.3 and 1.4 are 1.31 and 1.37. Agree? 1.31 and 1.37 are two rationals lying between 1.3 and 1.4. Now, how do I know that they're rationals? Because it's a terminating decimal. 1.31 is a terminating decimal, and hence it's a rational number. 1.37 is again a terminating decimal, so rational number. And you can understand that 1.31 and 1.37 clearly lie between 1.3 and 1.4. In case we don't understand, you can look at 1.3 as, children, am I audible? Is my voice clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 1.3 can be treated as 1.30, can be treated as 1.300, can be treated as 1.3000. Correct? These zeros have no meaning. They have no value, these zeros. But 1.03, here the zeros meaningful. You cannot take out this zero. In 1.03, this zero cannot be just taken away like that. This cannot be eliminated. 1.3 is different from 1.03. But 1.3 is the same as 1.30, is the same as 1.300, is the same as 1.3000, and so on. Now, 1.3 can be treated as 1.30 and 1.4 can be treated as 1.40. 1.3 is 1.30 and 1.4 is 1.40. All right, so 1.40. So now just look at this as 30. Just look at this as 30 and this one is 40. Now what are the numbers between 30 and 40? 31. So see here, 1.31. 31. Numbers lying between 30 and 40. 1.30, right? Look at this is 30 and this one is 40. 1.30 and 1.40. So numbers between 30 and 40. 1.31, 1.32, 1.33, 1.34, 1.35, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 1.36, 1.37. Okay, let me tell you something else. Now, supposing we regard 1.3 as 1.300. We regard 1.3 as 1.300. And we regard 1.4 as 1.400. Like 300 and 400. This is 3 and 4. This is like 3 and 4. 1.3, 1.4. So 3, 4. Then we made it 30 and 40. And we found the numbers lying between 30 and 40. And came out with these rationals. Now you can also treat them as 1.300. So 300. 1.400. 400. Now tell me, there are so many numbers between 300 and 400. 1.301, 1.302, 301, 302, 303 till 400 or 399. So you can write out so many rationals. They're all terminating decimals, right? So 1.301, 1.302, 1.303, so on. You can go up to 1.399, 399. Between 300 and 400, 301, 302, 303 till 399. We have, you can go on like this. You can treat this as 1.3. So you can write 1.301, 1.302, 1.303, so on like this till 1.399. See, in fact, okay, fine. Now you can treat this one as 1.3, 3000, 1.4. See, it's still 1.3. This is still 1.3. This is still 1.4. This is still 1.3. That's still 1.4. We are not changing the value of the given numbers. We're just writing them in different ways so that you can visualize the numbers lying between them. We're just writing them. We're writing the given numbers 1.3 and 1.4 in different ways without changing their value, so that we can identify the numbers lying between these two. So now this is 3,000 and 4,000. Now tell me, children, what can I write? 1 point. Yes, I want the answer from you.
1.3000.
3,000?
Ma'am, 3001, 1.3001.
1.3001. Okay, then say randomly.
1.3002, 1.3003, 1.3004, 1.3005. It goes on till 1.3999.
Very good, very good. Yeah. So 3,000 to 4,000, between 3,000 and 4,000. So you know the numbers lying between 3,000 and 4,000, 3,001, 3,002, 3,003, so on till 3,999. So 1.3999. So like this goes on. This is infinite. Meaning you can take up so many cases like this. And now, why are these numbers rational numbers? Because they have a terminating decimal expansion. It is 1.3999. That's it. It terminates there. It's 1.3999. That's it. Terminating decimal. And we know that the terminating decimal is a rational number because it can be written in the P by Q form. Why is the terminating decimal a rational number? Because it has a P by Q form. What is the P by Q form of this one? What is the P by Q form of this? 13999 over 1 followed by 4 zeros. The P by Q form of this number, we said this is a rational number. If it is rational, it should have a P by Q form. What is the P by Q form of 1.3999? So 13999 over 1 followed by 4 zeros. So P by Q form, terminating decimal, P by Q form, rational number. So coming back to this, two rationals between 1.3 and 1.4 are, so here we are looking at this as 1.30 and this one as 1.40. And with this visualization, we write 1.31 and 1.37. You can write anything. You can write any of these numbers. So we look at 1.3 as 1.30, 1.4 as 1.40. So between these two rationals, we have these two rationals, 1.31 and 1.37. But you should not leave it as a terminating decimal. You must put them in the P by Q form. You must put them in the P by Q form. 1.31 is equal to 131 by 100. 1.37 is equal to 137 by 100. Therefore, 131 by 100 and 137 by 100 are two rationals between 1.3 and 1.4. 1.3 and 1.4. Please write down this, children. We have different ways of inserting rational numbers between two given rationals. This is one of the methods. We have numerous ways. This is one of it, and this can be the simplest method. Okay. I hope you've completed. Can I clear the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes,
one
ma'am.
minute. Ma'am, 1 minute.
Okay. Okay, let me write it here. Let me write the next question here. Same heading. Insert two rationals between minus 3 by 4 and minus 2 by 5. Please, you can make a note of all this. You can just show all this in the rough column so that when you revise, you recall the way we have understood.
Ma'am, you can rub it, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So in the first one, we were given two decimal numbers, 1.1 and 1.2. No, I forgot. 1 point. What was the first one? 1.3 and 1.4. Okay, 1.3 and 1.4. So here we have fractions. We have to insert two rational numbers between minus 3 by 4 and minus 2 by 5. You can adopt this procedure here. I told you there are many ways. You can use this procedure here. So since the fractions have different denominators, we'll first bring them to the same denominator by using the LCM of the denominators. Since the fractions have different denominators, we'll find the LCM of the denominators and bring them to the same common denominator. So the LCM of 4 and 5 is 20. And to bring minus 3 by 4, to denominator 20, we multiply and divide by 5. Equivalent fractions, again fourth or fifth standard, equivalent fractions. Multiplying and dividing by 5 so that you get denominator 20, minus 15 by 20. Similarly, minus 2 by 5. Multiply and divide by 4 so that you bring it to the denominator 20. So now we have, so minus 2 by 5 is nothing but minus 8 by 20. Minus 3 by 4 is nothing but minus 15 by 20. They're the same. So now we have to insert two rationals between minus 8 by 20 and minus 15 by 20. So since the denominators are the same, just look at the numerators. Minus 8, you'll have to find the numbers between minus 8 and minus 15. So minus 8, minus 15. So minus 9, minus 10, minus 11, minus 12, minus 13, minus 14. You can write so many. See, minus 8, we said minus 9, right? Minus 9, minus 9.1, minus 9.2. There's so many numbers. But since we just need to insert 2, I've written minus 9 by 20. And see, we'll have to find the numbers between minus 8 and minus 15. So I have chosen minus 9 and minus 11. So minus 9 by 20 and minus 11 by 20 are two rationals lying between minus 3 by 4 and minus 2 by 5. Now, again, when you answer questions like this, the rationals which you find must be in their simplest form. Are we listening, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, don't be busy copying the contents from the board. That you can always copy. Please listen to what I have to share. So, the rationals which you write between these two, the given rationals, must be in their simplest form. So in order to not waste time simplifying, I choose to write numbers like this, minus 9 by 20. Anyways, minus 9 by 20, you understand? If I write minus 10 by 20, okay, it is simple to simplify, but I just chose minus 9 and minus 11 so that we don't have to simplify them any further. Like if you have to write between minus 130 and minus 190, minus 130 and minus 190, you can go with numbers like 137, 149, where you feel that it's not going to be divisible by any common tables. Yeah, like that. So otherwise, if you write anything, then you'll have to check if what you've written, the fractions you've written are in their simplest form. You may lose marks for that if you don't put it in the simplest form. So the first one was given two decimal numbers, given two terminating decimals, inserting two rationals between them. Here we have two fractions, and since their denominators are different, we bring them to the same denominator and then insert the rationals. Here the denominators are the same. Let's see how to do this. You can, I need it. So if you're not sure, you can use a number line. Minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like this. So between them. So see here all this. You can write anything. You can write minus 7 by 11, minus 6 by 11, minus 5 by 11, minus 4 by 11, minus 3 by 11, minus 2 by 11, minus 1 by 11, 0. Then 1 by 11, 2 by 11. You can choose anything. So, so maybe minus 5 by 11 and 0 are two rationals between minus 8 by 11 and 7 by 11. See, 0 comes. 0 is rational. 0 is rational. 0 by 11. 0 is 0 by 11. See, we said minus 7 by 11, minus 6 by 11, minus 5 by 11. Between minus 8 and 7, plus 7. Minus 8 and plus 7. So see, minus 8. This is plus 7. Between them. So you can say minus 7 by 11, minus 6 by 11, minus 5 by 11. Similarly, 0 by 11. So what have we chosen? Minus 5 by 11 and 0 by 11, which is 0. Minus 5 by 11 and 0 by 11, which is 0. Are two rationals between minus 8 by 11 and 7 by 11.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, can we write as the number which is a point, ma'am, like minus 7 by 2 by 11?
Minus 7.2 by 11. Yes, you can write. Minus 7.2 by 11. So if you write minus 7.2 by 11, it should be further simplified. So 7.2 is nothing but you can multiply by 10. You can multiply and divide by 10. So you get minus 72 by 110 and simplify further. Minus 7.2. Minus 7.2 you can write minus 7.2 by 11. Minus 7.2 by 11. Now in order to shift the decimal point, you can multiply and divide by 10. You're just writing an equivalent fraction. You can write minus 7.2. So minus 7.2 by 11. Shift the decimal point. So multiply and divide by 10. and we get minus 72 by 110. Simplify. The tables of 4, 4 not possible, 2, 36, and I think 55. So minus 36 by 55. Is that fine, Shivani?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So insert one rational and one irrational between 1 by 6 and 2 by 7. Insert one rational and one irrational between 1 by 6 and 2 by 7. So a rational, we just understood how to insert a rational number between two given fractions. Please do that and tell me.
Ma'am, do you want to find only the rational number between 1 by 6 and 2 by 7?
Yeah, you first find the rational. Finding the irrational number between these two, we'll do it together. You find only the rational.
Ma'am, found the rational number.
Ma'am, done, ma'am.
Very good.
Ma'am, completed.
Second.
Completed.
Very good. 1 second. Yeah, so what is your rational value between 1 by 6 and 1? Sorry, rational value between 1 by 6 and 1 by 7?
11 by 42.
Yeah, tell me.
9 by 42, ma'am.
9 by 42.
11
by 42 is not in the simplest form. 9 by 42 is not the simplest form.
11 by 42.
Huh?
11 by 42.
11 by 42, yeah. 11 by 42. So 11 by 42 is an irrational. It is, sorry, is a rational. Sorry, is a rational between, is a rational between, is a rational between 1 by 6 and 2 by 7. Now coming to irrational. Now, if you have to insert one, there are infinitely many irrationals. See, between given two numbers, between any two numbers, they may be consecutive numbers or whatever, between two numbers, there lies infinitely many rationals and infinitely many irrationals. Between any two given numbers, there lies infinitely many rationals and infinitely many irrationals. Yeah. So we have just inserted one of so many, we've just found one. 11 by 42 is a rational number between 1 by 6 and 2 by 7. And why is 11 by 42 a rational number? Because it has a p by q form, integer by integer form. So it's a rational number. I'll let you do. Now I want you all to perform the long division and find the decimal expansion of 1 by 6. I want you all to perform the long division. The regular long division we have learned in standard 3 and 4. So divide 1 by 6. No, I think 3 and 4, not 3 and 4, maybe 5th, 6th standard. Dividing 1 by 6 and dividing 2 by 7. Please perform the long division and find out. Don't use a calculator, please. So please divide and tell me the quotient obtained when you divide 1 by 6 and 2 by 7. Start 5 minutes for this. Yes, found for 1 by 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, please tell me. Yes, I think
Ma'am,
that
6, ma'am.
what 1 by 6 is equal to 6, huh? No, you're
Ma'am, it
confused.
goes on like
So please tell me. Yeah, yeah, it goes on. Please tell me
0.1666.
what you've got as the quotient.
0.16, which goes on.
Sorry. Yeah, children.
0.166666.
0.16 recurring. 0.16 alone recurring. So why do we get such a quotient? Because the division does not come to an end with a zero remainder. The division does not come to an end with a zero remainder. The division goes on and on. You keep getting non-zero remainders. And so the quotient also will go on and on. The digits after the decimal point will keep going on forever. And hence, what kind of a decimal value is that? What is 0. What do you call 0.16 recurring? Is it a terminating decimal?
It's a non-terminating,
Non-terminating repeating decimal.
repeating decimal.
Non-terminating repeating decimal. Yeah. So 1 by 6 is equal to, children. If you're not able to work 1 by 6, you need to try it yourself. We will not do the division here. How to divide 1 by 6? You should know. Try it. 0.1666 going on forever. So 1 by 6 is equal to 0.16 recurring. 6 recurring. It's a non-terminating. The quotient is a non-terminating decimal. Non-terminating because it doesn't end. It goes on and on. Why? Because the division does not come to an end. We say the division ends only if you get a zero remainder. So here you're not going to get a zero remainder at all. The division goes on and on. Hence, a non-terminating decimal is a quotient. Repeating because this digit 6 repeats. After the decimal point, you can see this digit 6 repeating itself forever. So, non-terminating repeating decimal. Non-terminating repeating decimal. All right. Now, similarly, find 2 by 7. Find the decimal expansion of 2 by 7.
0.285.
Tell me again.
0.285.
0.28 recurring, ma'am.
Yeah, 28.
Recurring, ma'am.
0.28. I heard 28.
And 5 random numbers, ma'am.
Okay, so now
Five
I
random
need to
numbers.
answer this question. And now I need to answer. Now I need to tell you this. So when you don't get a zero remainder, at which point should you stop the division? So you start division. You start the division process. You start the division process, and you find that even after 2-3 steps, you're not getting zero as a remainder. Then how long should you continue the division process? You must go on with the division process till a remainder, at least one remainder, repeats itself. You should continue the division. Only then you will get all the digits in the repeating block. Only then you can find all the digits in the repeating block.
There are 6 digits in
Listen to me carefully. If the division comes to an end with a zero remainder, it's a terminating decimal. Now, when you're dividing and the division doesn't end, then when do you stop? You have to stop the division. At some point, you will be fed up and you have to stop. So when is that you decide that I'll finish the division here or stop the division here? When you see that a remainder repeats itself. So supposing you get when you divide, you get remainder, say 5, 6, 1, 7, 3, and 5 again. You can stop. When this remainder repeats, supposing when you divide, you get first remainder 5 and then remainder 6, 1, 7, 3, and this remainder 5 repeats. That means you can do one more step and check. You will get the same remainder 6 again, you will get the same remainder 1, and then 7, and then 3. So this is the pattern. Either the division ends with a zero remainder, or if it does not, there will be the remainders, one remainder or a set of remainders will repeat themselves. So when you get remainders 5, 6, 1, you should not stop. 5, 6, 1 are different remainders. You should not stop the division. Go on. Then you get 7. Go on. Then you get 3. 5, 6, 1, 7, 3. Remainder has not repeated. Then go on. Continue the division. Then you get 5. Oh, when you get 5, you realize that you had already got 5 as a remainder earlier. When you get 5 as a remainder, you realize that you had already got 5 as a remainder earlier. There you can stop the division. But if you just want to check, you can do one more step. You can do one more step. When you do that, you will get 6. After 5, 6 was the remainder. You will get 6. And if you still want to confirm and you do one more step, you will get 1. And then 7. And then 3. And again 5, 6, 1, 7, 3. I hope I'm clear, children. So now you know. Yeah, so you should continue the division till you find that a remainder repeats, a remainder or a set of remainders repeats. So now 1 minute, 5, 6, 1, 7, 3. And again you see 5, you can stop the division. Just to be safe, you can do one more, otherwise 5, 6, and then you can stop for sure. Yeah, only then you can make out the digit or the digits repeating in the repeating block. Now tell me the decimal expansion correctly.
0.285714.
57142.
0.28.
0.285714.
1,
4.
4.
Again 2. It repeats, ma'am.
Yeah. So so please keep this in mind. You must continue the division till a remainder repeats. So 285714, and then you'll again get 285714. Like this, it will go on. Like this, it will go on. So 2 by 7 is nothing but 0.285714 recurring. Recurring. So now, children, you have to insert an irrational number between these two rationals. Please stay focused. Don't go away from the question given to you. You can read the question again to understand what we are discussing. Insert one, because suddenly at the end of all this, we'll forget what we are talking about. Insert one rational. We already did that. We inserted one rational. See here? We already inserted one rational. Insert one rational and one irrational between these two rationals. These are rationals. This is a rational number because P by Q form. Integer by integer. Integer by integer. Between these two given rationals, we need to insert one rational and one irrational. So rational we inserted. By using the concept of LCM, we already inserted the rational. Now irrational. So when you have to insert an irrational, you should make sure that that number lies between these two and is a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. That's all. That number should lie between that number, irrational number should be between these two. That's what is insert. Insert meaning it should lie between these two. And how do you make sure it's an irrational number? It should be a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. That's it. The example which you give should be, or the number which you're inserting should be a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. It's irrational. So let's do that now. So you can write 1 by 6 as, you can just write 1 by 6 as 0.16. See, I'll just get the same number of digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what is 2 by 7? 2 by 7 is equal, it just goes on, children. It goes on like this. And 2 by 7 is equal to 0.285714. You know it's 2857. Okay, let me write that. 285714 goes on like this. So now see, it's between 0.1, 0.16 and 0.28. Can you get that? 0.16, 0.28. Now, let me start right like this. 0. I can't say 0.3. If I say 0.3, it's away from this. It's after this. And see, I cannot write 1.3 also because there's only 0 point. I cannot write 1 point something. 1 point something will be beyond this. Beyond them. It's outside the range. See, I cannot write 1 point. This one is 0.16. This is 0.2857. So I'm saying I cannot write 1 point something or 2 point something, 3 point something. I cannot write because it's only 0 point here. So now see 0 point. I cannot even say 0.4 and something because this is 0.1, this is 0.2. So be very careful. Now tell me, can I start like this 0.15? Not 0.15, not 0.15. I'm saying I'm trying to write an irrational value. I'm trying to write a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. But can I say 0.15 is my question? Can I start with 0.15?
No.
No, I cannot because this is 0.16, this is 0.28. So 0.16 is like here. I'm just giving you time to understand. And nor can I start with 0.29 because this is 0.28. So 29 will be beyond that. I cannot say 0.15 because this is 0.16. So it will go less than this. If I start with 0.15, it will go less than this. And if I say 0.29, okay, between these two, you know, this is small and this is big. Between these two, you know that this has a 1/6 has a smaller value. This is 0.16, while this is 0.28. So this is smaller. Between these two, this is small. And if I start with 0.15 for the irrational number, it will be smaller than this. And if I write 0.29, see, it's not just 0.29. 0.29, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to give it a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal expansion. But then I can't start with 0.29 because it will be greater than this. It will be greater than this. 0.29 is greater than this number. I can't start with 0.15, nor can I say 0.14, or nor can I say 0.3, 0.31. No, because if you start like this 0.31, that will be greater than 0.28. 28, 29, 30, 31 is greater than this. And again, here it cannot be 0.15, 14, 12. No, be very careful. You must write, you should start between these two, 0.166 and 0.28. So like if you look at this as 16 and this as 28, you can definitely write, if you can just look at this as 16 and this as 28, then you can definitely write 0.17. You can start, safe it is, very safe, 0.1, or you can write 0.18. Need to finish it, or you can write 0.22. You're within the range. You are within the range. You can write 0.27 also. You can write 0.27. Now make this, you can start like this and make it an irrational number, a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. So say I make it 17. See, I'm now between these two. I'm safe. I'm not going to, whatever I'm going to add here, I'm safe. I am between these two numbers. Because I am here 0.17, which is after this and before this. 0.17 is like after this, but before this. So I'm safe. I am in the range. When at 0.18 also I am in the range. I'm between them. 0.22 I am between them. 0.27 I am between them. So now you can finish it with anything. So 171, 172, 173, 174 goes on like that. See here. 171, 172. See, if it is 171, it should be 171 again. It cannot be, if it is a non-terminating repeating decimal, it should be 171, 171 again. No, it's 172, 173, 174. Goes on like this. It goes on non-terminating and non-repeating irrational number. Now help me complete this, children. Help me complete this. Maybe I'll do this. You can help me with these two. So I like write 185, 1885, 1885, 1 4 8s and then 5. It goes on like this. So see here, 1 8 5. 1 happens again. 8 happens again, but it's 8. It's not 185 185. It is 185 1 885 1 888. Oh, I didn't write 888 here. Okay. 185 1 885 1 888 1 4 8s and 5. Yeah. Look at this. Now help me complete this one, children. See, it should be you. If you don't show this, you're wrong. This is a terminating decimal. This is a terminating decimal. If you give this as the example, it's a terminating decimal. It is a rational number between those two. If you give this as the example, these two are rational numbers, children. These two are rational numbers, P by Q form. Non-terminating but repeating decimal. Non-terminating but repeating decimal. These are rational numbers. If you give this as an example of an irrational number, you're wrong because it's a terminating decimal. So don't forget this. Now complete this for me. Yes, children, please complete this for me.
227.
2.
27.
Okay, 27.
22.
22.
4.
4. Huh? It's very feeble. I can't hear.
22.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't hear you clearly.
Double 96.
Okay, 996. 996 then. Something vague. 3 5 0 7 6 1 goes on like this. Anything very vague. Yeah, here also 2 7 2 7 2 7. You can, not that you should use the same thing, then you can change the digit also. 5 1 2 0 7 6. Something very vague. So this is how you insert an irrational value between two rational values. See, so how do you insert an irrational number? The number you insert must have a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal expansion. Then it is an irrational number. So coming from the beginning, we were given two fractions. Two rational numbers. And we had to insert one rational and one irrational between these two. Inserting a rational number, the format is to insert a rational number, just bring them to the same denominator using the LCM, bring them to the same denominator, and then insert one rational number between them. That's simple. Irrational number. To insert an irrational number, you need to find the decimal expansion. You need to find the value of 1.6. You should perform the long division and find the decimal expansion of 1.6. And also find the decimal expansion of 2 by 7. So when you try to find the decimal expansion of 2 by 7, there was a learning. We had stopped after we got some 2, 3 remainders. So the learning there is you should not stop the division abruptly like that. You must wait till the remainder repeats. Tell yourself that. Keep that in mind. So you cannot get tired with 2, 3 remainders and then stop there. So something should tell you to stop the division. In the first case, when the remainder is 0, because the remainder is 0, the remainder 0 tells you that the division has come to an end. When you get 0 remainder, since the remainder is 0, it tells you that the division has come to an end. But when you don't get 0 remainder, how can you stop the division abruptly? Suddenly, how can you stop the division process? So something should tell you that you can stop there, need not go ahead. And what is that? A repeating remainder. A repeating remainder tells you that you can stop the division process. So see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After this, you see, after getting these 6 digits in the quotient, when you see you get the same remainder, you had got this earlier. Probably before 6 steps, you had got the remainder. The same remainder repeats. So that signals or that tells you that you can stop the division process. Okay. So like this it is. So like this it is. So 0.285714 repeating. 14 repeating. So now you have to insert one irrational number between this and this. So understand these decimal expansions better by writing like this. Understand them better. Understand this and this better by writing out like this. And it's different, it's not this way always. So because with different numbers, the way you have to understand them will be different. So in this case, it is 0.16 and 0.28. So I told you cannot start with 1 point or 2 point something. 1618. So between 16 and 18 is like 16 and 28. 0.16 and 0.28. So 0.17, 0.18, 0.19. So when you choose to start with these two digits, you're safe, you're in the range. And then you can fix anything. But don't forget to use the dots to indicate that they are going on forever. Yes, children, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Please write down. And you cannot just write the answer. You must write 11 by 42 is a rational between, you cannot just write 11 by 42. You must write complete at 11 by 42 is a rational between 1 by 6 and 2 by 7. Similarly here, I have not written, you must write only one, no? If you choose to write this, you must write 0.171, 172, 173, 174 is one irrational between 1 by 6 and 2 by 7. You must complete it. I have not written there. I want you to write it. Yeah, do this. So is the board clear?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
And Satvika, Nikita, was the recording useful?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Completed, Satvika and Nikita? Have you
Yes,
completed
ma'am.
both?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nikita?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Soon after the class, I want Satvika and Nikita to take pictures of what you've completed, that yesterday's class or when was that? Okay, whatever. So please take pictures of that work, that particular work, and share it on WhatsApp with me. Soon
Okay,
after.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
I'll let you know. So here insert one rational and one irrational between 5 and 6. So you can say 5.1 is a rational between 5 and 6. Or if you want to write 5.1 can be written as 51 by 10. 51 by 10 is a rational between 5 and 6. Irrational. Root of 5 into 6, that is root of 30, is an irrational. Between 5 and 6. So here, insert one rational again, same thing. Insert one rational, one irrational between 5 and 6. Rational we know 5.1, 5.01, 5.015, so many. So 5.1 is a rational number between 5 and 6. Irrational. The square root of the product. The square root of the product, remember this, square root of the product, we'll understand why. So the square root of the product is an irrational number between 5 and 6. Okay, so what will be the square root of 30? Okay, 30 is not a perfect square. Let's start from there. 30 is not a perfect square. So the square root of 30, will be an irrational number. Excuse me, children. So 5, so we are talking about inserting an irrational number between 5 and 6. Now I said square root of 5 into 6, square root of the product of the numbers given, square root of 5 into 6. Now square root of 5 into 6 is square root of 30. Now our answer is square root of 30. Our answer is square root of 30 is an irrational number between 5 and 6. Now, how do we know that 30 is an irrational number? 30 is irrational. Sorry, square root of 30. Somebody is disturbing me, sorry. So, square root of 30 is irrational. How do we know? Because 30 is not a perfect square. 30 is not a perfect square. Then the square root of 30 is an irrational number. I have told you something like this when we discussed about irrational numbers during the introduction to this chapter. 30, I repeat, 30 is not a perfect square. Then square root of 30 is an irrational number. 30 is not a perfect cube. 30 is not a perfect cube. Then the cube root of 30 is an irrational number. 32, anything. See, why am I sticking with 30? Okay, 100. 100 is not a perfect cube. 100 is a perfect square. 100 is not a perfect cube. Then the cube root of 100 is an irrational number. 100 is not a perfect cube. Then the cube root of 100, is an irrational number. That means the value of cube root of 100 is a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal expansion. When we say cube root of 100 is irrational, that means the value of cube root of 100 is a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal expansion. Now here, square root of 30, you can just guess, right? Square root of 30, 5 5s are 25, 6 6 are 36. See here, square root of 25 is 5 and square root of 36 is 6. Now, where is square root of 30? It's between this. Square root of 25 is 5. See, why am I taking these two numbers? Because 5 and 6, right? Because 5 and 6. 5 and 6. So 5 is square root of 25. 6. See, 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Between 5 and 6. Between 5 and 6. So 5, 6. 5, 6. What is 5? Square root of 25. What is 6? Square root of 36. 5 can be written as square root of 25. 6 can be written as square root of 36. So that means between these two, you have to insert square root of 30, square root of 31, square root of 32. That's all. I'll just give you time for you to think. I'll just pause for some time so that you think about it. 5 and 6, just think about it. We'll also apply the same with cube roots. Then maybe you'll understand better. Just think about it. Now let me write 5. Let me write 5 as cube root of 125. And let me write 6 as cube root of 216. Because cube root of 216 is 6 and cube root of 125 is 5. If I have to insert an irrational number between 5 and 6, that means I have to insert an irrational number between cube root of 125 and cube root of 216. And these are two consecutive perfect cubes. 125 and 216. They are two consecutive perfect cubes. 5 can be written like this. 6 can be written like this. Now between this, cube root of 200. 200 is not a perfect cube. We know that. 200 is not a perfect cube. No number multiplied with itself 3 times will give you exactly 200. No number multiplied with itself 3 times can give you exactly 200. But 5 multiplied by itself 3 times gives you exactly 125. 5 into 5 into 5 is 125, precisely 125. But there is no number like that, which when multiplied with itself 3 times can produce 200. So cube root of 200. 200 is an imperfect cube. 200 is an imperfect cube. So the cube root of 200 is an irrational number. And you can give this as an example. This is an example. Cube root of, there are so many, you can give so many. Cube root of 126 itself. Cube root of 126, cube root of 127, cube root of 128, cube root of 200, 201. And you're sure that they lie between these two. And you're sure that they lie between these two. So this can be an example. Cube root of 200 is an irrational number between 5 and 6. Children, I've tried my best to explain. Now you can ask me questions if I'm not clear. You can apply this to 4th root, 5th root. You can apply the same to the 4th root, 5th root. Now what 5 can also be written as what? The 4th root of what? The 4th root of what is 5? Why less participation in today's class? Is the board not clear? Or my voice is not audible? Or am I not clear with my explanation?
623, ma'am.
No, I'm not sensing that usual energy. I'm not getting that usual energy from the class. Okay, use the emoji, raise your hands, class. Shreyas, Hitesh, Nikita. Nila.
Ma'am,
Okay.
625.
Yeah,
625.
625. Okay, the fourth root of 625 is 5. And the fourth root of what is 6?
One, 2, 9, 6.
1, 2. No. What are the others doing? No, I'm not happy. Please.
196, ma'am.
What's happening? The board is not clear. Please tell me. Am I audible? Is my voice clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Please participate. Yeah, please participate. So you can just tell out simultaneously. I'll be happy. I can hear you. Sometimes it's feeble. That's all. So 6, the fourth root of 1296 is 6. Now tell me some irrationals between 5 and 6. So irrationals between 5 and 6 are irrationals between fourth root of 625 and fourth root of 1296. Tell me.
Fourth root of
Fourth root of
1200.
Fourth root of
Yeah, now I heard Shivani and Satvika, not Satvika, Sangamitra. Sangamitra, tell me. Fourth
Root of 1200.
1200.
00.
Okay, Shivani. Yes, Shivani. Vasudevan. Hitesh. Arav.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, Kanishka.
Root of 6200.
6200. No, I think the board is not visible. It's not clear. No. How can it be fourth root of 620? Yes,
fourth root of 729.
fourth root of 723. That was from Kanishka?
Satvika.
Satvika, okay. Fourth root of Kanishka, I want an example from you. Fourth root of 723. Fine. Kanishka, tell me.
Then fourth root of 926.
Yeah, okay. Then Deepika.
Ma'am, fourth root of 825, ma'am.
825. Fourth root of 825. Yes, perfect. Arav.
Ma'am,
Yeah, example.
Ma'am, shall I?
I think you already said Shivani.
Yes, ma'am.
Ananya.
Fourth root of 1000, ma'am.
Fourth root of 1000. Yeah. Fourth root of 1000. Okay. All right. So like this, you can insert so many irrationals. You just find their equivalent, meaning when you're given two numbers, see, we had 5 and 6. So we expressed 5 as square root of 25 and 6 as square root of 36. So between 5 and 6, meaning between square root of 25 and square root of 36. So will be square root of 26, square root of 27, square root of 28. All these are irrationals between 5 and 6. But how do we know that they are irrationals? Because those numbers are not perfect squares. Because 26 is not a perfect square. Then square root of 26 is irrational. 28 is not a perfect square. Then square root of 28 is irrational. So do the same with the cube roots. So 5 and 6. 5 is cube root of 125. 6 is cube root of 216. So numbers between 125 and 216. 160, for example, 160. 160 is not, so 160 lies between these two, 125 and 260. 160 is not a perfect cube. Then the cube root of 160 is an irrational number. Okay, children. So like this, you can make a note of all this, please. In the rough work or wherever, just put a box below the main answer and you can say important and write out all this. Don't miss all this. Please write out. Please write all that you see on the board. Arrange in the descending order. Arrange in the descending order. Cube root of 2, 4th root of 5, 6th root of 7, 12th root of 3.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, these are all irrational, no, ma'am. Then how can we arrange it, ma'am?
It is possible. Now, if I say 1 minute, okay, let's try. I'm sorry, let me try like this. So, like if I say this is 0.35, 36, 37, it goes on like this. Then I say 0.0051237, something like this. Then I say 0. Or I say, to make it easy, you know, I'm just taking numbers so that it's easy to understand. 31, 32, 33, something like this. Then I say 4.7007001. Now these are all irrational numbers. 0.35, 36, 37, 38, 393, 40, 41 goes on like that. Irrational. 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 Because non-term, I have taken 4 non-terminating, non-repeating decimals. I have considered 4 non-terminating, non-repeating decimals. So this is the smallest. To arrange them in the ascending order, small to big, this is the smallest. Then after 0.00 comes this one. Then after that comes this one. And after that comes this one. So it is possible. It is possible to arrange irrational numbers in the ascending or descending order. Okay. So thanks for that question, Shreyas. So it is possible to arrange. It is possible to arrange irrational numbers in the ascending or descending order. Now, what's the procedure? What is the procedure? Now, cube root of 2. Cube root of 2. This is on the radical form. Let's write it in the exponential form like this. Let's write it in the exponential form like this. See. Please watch the board. Cube root of 2 can be written as 2 to the power 1 by 3. Radical form, exponential form. Cube root, meaning to the power 1 by 3. Similarly, fourth root of 5 can be written as 5 to the power 1 by 4. Radical form, exponential form. This is the base, 1 by 4 is the power. Sixth root of 7 can be written as 7 to the power 1 by 6. And the 12th root of 3 can be written as 3 to the power 1 by 12. Write down this. Please write down this, children. All right. Now tell me the LCM of 3, 4, 6, and 12, children. Assuming you have completed writing. What is the LCM of 3, 4, 6, and 12?
12.
12. Okay, 12. So in the next step, 2 to the power 1 by 3 into bring 1 by 3, bring this fraction 1 by 3 or bring the power 1 by 3 to the denominator 12. So you need to multiply and divide by 4, equivalent fraction. The LCM of these numbers, not 2, 5, 7, and 3, not those numbers. The powers, see the powers, see the powers. The denominator 3, 4, 6, 12. The LCM of the denominators and the powers is 12. 3, 4, 6, and 12 is 12. So now bring 1 by 3 to the denominator 12. So you need to multiply and divide by 4. And that will give us 2 to the power 4 by 12. Repeat that. So 5 to the power 1 by 4 into 3 into 3. Into 3 by 3 is equal to 5 to the power 3 by 12. Don't simplify. You will get back 1 by 3. Don't simplify. Don't again do 4 1s or 4 3s. Then you will go back to this. Don't do that. So 5 to the power 1 by 4 is nothing but 5 to the power 3 by 12. It's the same. 2 to the power 1 by 3 or 2 raised to the power 1 by 3 is the same as 2 raised to the power 4 by 12. 7 raised to the power 1 by 6. Let's multiply and divide by 2. And that gives us 7 to the power 2 by 12. 7 to the power 2 by 12. And tell me here, children.
Ma'am, 3 1 by 12. 2 is to power 1 by 12 only, ma'am.
It's
Same.
already 1 by 12. But just to follow this, so
1 by 1 is equal to 1
1
by
by 1 is equal
3 to
to
the whole
3
power.
to the power 1 by 2.
So this is just to have a rhythm like this. That's all. You can just write 3 to the power 1 by 12 itself. So let's just go back and see what we have done. We are given 4 surds. 1, 2, 3, 4 surds. We are given 4 surds. we write them in the exponential form. 2573 becomes the base. 3 here, 1 by 3 is the power. 4 here, 1 by 4 is the power. 6 here, 6 the root, 1 by 6 is the power. 12 here, 1 by 12 is the power. So this is how we write these surds in the exponential form. Then the LCM of the denominators in the powers. 12. So now we bring the denominator in the power to the base, to the denominator 12. The denominator here in the power should be brought to denominator 12. So do this accordingly. Find the equivalent fraction. So 2 to the power 1 by 3 is nothing but 2 to the power 4 by 12. 5 to the power 1 by 4 is nothing but 5 to the power 3 by 12. They are the same. Because when you cancel 3 ones are 3 fours are, you get back 1 by 4. When you reduce this 2 by 12, reduces to 1 by 6. Now children, write this as 2 to the power 4 into 1 by 12. Correct, right? 4 into 1 by 12 is 4 by 12. 4 into 1 by 12 is 4 by 12. So now write 4 by 12. Write the power 4 by 12 as 4 into 1 by 12. So now tell me, what should I write here? 5 to the power?
3 into 1 by 12.
Three into 1 by 12. And here?
2 into 1 by 12.
7 to the power 2 into 1 by 12.
Yeah.
Ma'am, and
3 to the
1
power
into 1 by 12.
1 into
1 into 1 by 12. Very good. We'll just write 1 by 12. 1 into 1 by 12 is also fine. Yeah. Okay. Let's write 1 into 1 by 12. Let's write that. Okay. So this is the next step. Now, it's equal to equal to. Now this is 2 to the power 4, the whole power 1 by 12. See, I'm showing so many steps so that we understand. Now, once you understand, you can probably reduce the number of stages, number of steps you're taking to get the final answer. So now I write this as 5 to the power 3, the whole power 1 by 12. 7 to the power 2, the whole power 1 by 12. 3 to the power 1, the whole power 1 by 12. Write down. I'll wait. Write down.
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Shreya, let me just finish now. You can ask me. I'll just finish this. Yeah. Okay. Now, tell me, what should be the next step?
Ma'am, 16 to the whole power 1 by 12.
Yeah, 16 to the power 1 by 12. Here,
125 to the whole power 1 by 12.
yeah.
49 to the whole power 1 by 12. 3 to the whole power 1 by 12.
Yeah. So now this can be written as what? 12th root of 16. And this is the 12th root of 125. This is the 12th root of 49. And this is nothing but the 12th root of 3. Because 1 by 12 meaning 12th root. So this is nothing but the 12th root of 16, 12th root of 125, 12th root of 49, 12th root of 3. Now we have brought everything. They're all like, see, the radicals are the same. They're like radicals, 12th root everywhere. Now it's easy to decide. This is the small, this will have the smallest value. This will have the biggest value. So after this is 16 followed by 49 and then 125. But it's a descending order. So this is first, this is second, third, and fourth. So the descending order, you can just finish it like this. So the 12th root of 125 is greater than 12th root of 49 is greater than the 12th root of 16 is greater than the 12th root of 3. Descending order. So this is the biggest, followed by this, this, and this. So this is the answer. This is the answer. Yes, Shreyas?
Ma'am, in 3 to the whole power 1 by 12, why are we writing as 3 to the whole power 1 to the whole power 1 by 12? We can directly write 3 to the whole power 1 by 12, no, ma'am?
Correct. Yeah. No, somebody, yeah, you can write that. Yes. You can ignore this one. Since everywhere we wrote 4 into 1 by 12, 3 into 1 by 12, just to have that rhythm, we wrote 1 into 1 by 12. You can ignore this one here, you can ignore this one here. You're right.
Ma'am?
Yes, Shivani?
Ma'am, can you please send me the photo, ma'am?
Yeah,
it's
sure.
I'm blur.
Was it clear all the way?
No, ma'am, it's clear, but sometime it was blur, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. I'll just send the picture. Done, Shivani.
Thank you, ma'am.
So these are called surds of different order. They're called surds of different order. Different order. They're surds of different order. Cube root of 2. They're all surds. All these are surds. But they have different orders. They're surds of different orders. Like different denominators. Different orders. So you need to bring them to the same order. You need to bring them to the same order using the concept of LCM. These steps are quite simple. It's just that we've elaborated on everything. We've just written it in detail. Otherwise, it's very simple. So at this stage, we bring them back to the radical form. At this stage, we put them back to the radical form.
Ma'am?
Yes, children, any questions?
Ma'am, the answers for the 3 questions you have sent in the WhatsApp.
No, that's what, Kanishka. I was just thinking about that. As I was doing this, I was just thinking about that. Since some of the students have not tried, I want all of them to try it. So we'll take up that in the next class. Because I want all of them to work and participate. How many of you did not work? Let's just see if majority has worked or majority has not worked. How many of you have not worked? Vasudevan? Arav?
No, ma'am, I have worked, ma'am.
Okay. I think Vasudevan and Arav.
No, ma'am, this is Vasudevan, ma'am. I have worked it, ma'am.
Okay. You finished? Okay. Okay, then all of us, shall we? Okay, if the students who have not worked it can be okay with it, we can try those sums. Shall I do them? Shall we discuss those sums which I posted in the group?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And if this was in the ascending order, if this was to be arranged in the ascending order, then you should use a less than symbol. 12th root of 3 is less than, 12th root of 16 is less than, 12th root of 49 is less than. Use a less than symbol, use a less than symbol for the ascending order and the greater than symbol for the descending order. I know it's time, children, but I will need another 15 minutes. Kindly cooperate. We'll discuss the answers to the 3 questions which I posted in the group and wind up the session for today. So that is, this announcement is just to prepare your mind. So you will be like just 5 minutes, it's going to end. Just prepare your mind. Next 15 minutes, we'll wind up. Like when we were young, when we were in school, it was like when the subject teacher was absent, we would be so happy. You know, assuming that, okay, it's going to be a substitution period, some art teacher or, you know, the PT master will take over the class. He'll just mind the class, like, so nothing will happen. So we'll be so happy, we'll be celebrating that the teacher is, that particular subject teacher is absent. And then the announcement will come that, you know, some other teacher is taking over the class. So it's like that. And it'd be so difficult to prepare the mind. You know, you would have thought it's going to be fun, and then when that is not going to be true, it's like that now. So please prepare your mind. Let's see the answers and wind up. The first one, simplify. This is the question. Simplify. Square root of 72 divided by 5 into square root of 72 plus 3 into square root of 288. You can read this as 5 square root of 72 or 5 into square root of 72 minus 2 into or 2 root 648. So how do we do this? So if at all, you know, you cycle to school, if you cycle to school, you cannot just take off your cycle like that. So you need to first check if the tire is not punctured, right? So you just press and check, and then whatever little things you'll have to check if the bike is in order, and then you take it off. Similarly, when you have to start a simplification process, you cannot just assume that, okay, it's going to be rationalizing the denominator and start off like that. Just look at the various things in the expression. Look at the various things in the expression. The rule is, if any surd can be expressed as a mixed surd, we should do that first. Like we have this Bodmer's rule. When we have this Bodmer's rule, when in the simplification you find division, addition, subtraction, multiplication, then there is this rule which tells us what to do first. Brackets and then OF, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. In the same way, you cannot start rationalizing by multiplying and dividing by something. No, that does not come first. What comes first is, look at the surds, look at the various parts of the expression, and see if any of them can be expressed as mixed surds. If that is possible, that will be the first step. So square root of 72. The easiest way is this. Square root of 72. You should try this. Don't find the prime factors always. That is the method. But don't find the prime factors. Can you write 72 as a product of a perfect square and some other number? Can you write 72 as a product of a perfect square and another number? 72.
6 square plus into 2
6 square
into 2.
into 2. Very good. Yeah. So 72 is 36 into 2. 72 is 36 into 2. And 36 will come out as 6. 72. Again, 72 is 36 into 2. 288 is 144 into 2. Is 144 into 2. And 648, you can just divide by 2 and check. Just divide by 2. What do you get? Or divide by 4. So what do you get? 4 ones are 4 ones are 2 remains. This is difficult for me. Division. 4 6 are and 4 2s are. Is this correct? Is this right? Yeah, then it's going to be 81 into something. 81 into 8, if I'm right. 81 into 8. 81 and this. If I take a 4 from that, it will be 324. Yeah, it will be 324 into 2. 324 into 2. Okay, so this is 324 into 2. And 324 is a perfect square. The square root of 324 is 18. 18 into 18 is 324. Okay, so if you can do that, fine. Otherwise, you should find all the prime factors. Should find all the prime factors. See, like you should write 72 as 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into, sorry, 8 nines are, so 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. Maybe we can do that way. So those of you who have understood this can adopt that procedure. You can directly write 72 as 36 into 2. So then 36 comes out as 6. So 6 root 2. 72 is 36 into 2. So 6 root 2. 144 into 2. So 12 root 2. And 324 into 2. 18 root 2. We could do that. Otherwise, we'll have to list out all the prime factors. We'll have to list out all the prime factors. So let me just do that first. So 36 into 2 like this, divided by 5 square root of 36 into 2 plus 3 square root of 144 into 2 minus 2 square root of 324 into 2.
Ma'am?
So this will be 6 root 2. 36 comes out as 6. 36 comes out as 6. There's already a 5 into 6 root 2. Because 36 comes out of the square root as 6. But there's already a 5 here. So 5 into 6 root 2 plus 3 into 12 root 2. Because 144 comes out as 12. Square root of 144 is 12. Minus 2 into 18 root 2. So now this will be the first step. Okay, this will be the second step. And after that, 6 root 2 as it is, divided by 5 6 are 30. 30 root 2 plus 36 root 2 minus this also 36. 36 root 2. So now what happens in the denominator? They get cancelled. 36 plus 36 root 2 minus 36 root 2 gets cancelled. So this is going to be 6 root 2 divided by 30 root 2. So again, root 2 and root 2 gets cancelled. And 6 ones are 6 fives are. So the value is
1 by 5.
Yeah, so the value of this expression is 1 by 5. The value of this one is 1 by 5. And you see that we have not rationalized the denominator anywhere. Simplify also means to rationalize the denominator. But there is a priority. What comes first? What to do first? There is a priority. So I said in the expression, if some parts of the expression can be expressed as mixed results, we need to first perform that procedure. That's the order. So that's the order, meaning not order, I'm not ordering. I'm saying that's the order in which you simplify. That's the order in which we simplify. So like that, we have this step, this as the first step, and then this. So cancels 6 root 2 by 30 root 2, and it simplifies to 1 by 5. Otherwise, I'll just show you for this alone. If it is 648, you'll have to Do this 648, 2, 324, 2, 162, 281, 3, 27, 3 nines, 3 threes, 3 ones. You'll have to find all the prime factors, and I'm just showing only for that 2 square root of 648. So like this, you'll have to perform for the others. So it will be 2 into square root of 2 into 2, 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. This I'm just showing for this part alone. 2 square root of 648. 648 is a product of these prime factors. So 2 into
2 into 2 into 3
one
3
comes out. Yeah. These two threes, 1 3 comes out. These 2 threes, 1 3 comes out. And there is a
To the
2
whole
that
square
remains
root.
under the square root. There is a 2 that remains under the square root. So 3 threes are 9, 9 twos are 18, 18 twos are 36. 36 root 2. So you will get the same. You should get the same thing. You should get the same thing. That's what we got. You should get the same thing. So you can also do this. If you feel it's difficult to, find this number as a product of a perfect square and some other number, don't waste time on that. Don't waste time on that. This will give you the answer. Just find the prime factors like this and finish it. So now we are only 9. So see, Satvika is there, Neela, Kanishka, Pranav, Arad, Sangamitra, Ananya, Deepika, and Shivani. So Shreyas and escaped. Shreyas, Vasudevan have escaped the meeting. See this? All right. So here, children,
Ma'am, we have.
yes, tell me.
Ma'am, we take the conjugate of the two separate terms.
Yeah. So, yeah, what we have understood so far is that we need to work this in step 1, this in step 2, and in step 3, we need to add the result we get in step 1 and step 2. Okay, so this is slightly different. That can be done. We can do it. We can simplify the given expression in that procedure. What you can also do is, since the denominators are conjugates, look at this expression, look at this, look at the denominator, and look at this expression, see the denominator. The denominators are conjugates. Plus minus. They're conjugates. Root 13 plus root 11. Root 13 minus root 11. The denominators are conjugates. So method 1 is what we know so far. Working this in step 1, working this in step 2, and in step 3, answer we got in step 1 plus answer we got in step 2 will give us the answer, the final answer. That's fine. This is an alternate method. You can also do it this way. So let's do it in the alternate method. So instead of working it in step 1 and step 2, when the denominators, when in the expressions, so this is the entire expression, I'm talking about this one. In this first expression here, and let me call this the first expression and second expression. So when the denominator of the first expression and the denominator of the second expression are conjugates of each other, then only you can use this method. Only then you can use this method, not always. So now, because they're conjugates, we write out the LCM of the denominators like this. The product of the denominators is the LCM. So this one is here. So we need to multiply the numerator with this. The product will be the common denominator, the LCM. Now in the first expression, we have this denominator. So we need to multiply the numerator with this. So it will be, write this root 13 minus root 11 as it is. Multiply it with another root 13 minus root 11. LCM, how LCM works. Children, what is A by B plus B by A? Tell me, how do you add A by B and B by A?
Ma'am, LCM.
AB.
What's
AB.
LCM?
AB.
AB, ma'am.
The LCM is AB. Then what do you do? Since we have B, you multiply the numerator with A. And here, since we have A, you will multiply the numerator with B. And A into A is A squared plus B into B is B squared. Same thing here. We're doing the same thing here. Plus, we have this expression. So we need to multiply the numerator. We need to multiply the numerator root 3 plus root 11 with root 3 plus root 11, the other one. Root 3 plus root 11. We find this here, so multiply the numerator with this. This one is out here, so we need to multiply this numerator with this expression. Or sometimes in schools they say cross multiply. No, it's not cross multiplying. Okay, sometimes it's put like that. So cross multiply. So this into this and this into this. All right. So this gives us root 13 minus root 11 the whole squared plus root 13 plus root 11 the whole squared. Because it's a minus b into a minus b the whole square, a plus b into a plus b the whole square, divided by a plus b into a minus b, a squared minus b squared, a plus b into a minus b, a squared minus b squared. Now in the numerator, a minus b the whole square is a square minus 2 into a into b, a square minus 2ab plus b square root 11 the whole square, plus, so this is enclose these three terms in a square bracket, plus you can open another square bracket. The second one is a squared plus 2ab plus 2 into a into b plus root 11 the whole square, So expand using a plus b the whole square and a minus b the whole square, divided by 13 minus 11. So this will be 13 minus 2 root of 13 into 11 is 143 plus 11 plus 13 plus 2 root 143 plus 11 divided by 2. So minus 2 root 143 and plus 2 root 143 gets cancelled. 13 plus 11 plus 13 plus 11. 26, 36, 46, 48. 48 by 2, which is 24. You will get the same answer even if you work in 3 steps. Step 1, step 2, and then step 3. You will get the same answer. Very good, very good. So you can adopt any procedure. It's not that you should do it this way. I was just telling you that when in the two expression, I said this is the expression 1 and expression 2. So here in this expression, this is the denominator. In this expression, this is the denominator. And we observe that the denominators are conjugates of each other. Only in that case, we can take up the LCM like this and work. You can work it in just one step. Only if the denominators are conjugates. Otherwise, you have to use different steps. If you have 3 expressions, you have to work it in 3 steps. And then the 4th step for the final answer. All right, children, I cannot go beyond this. It's time. It's 9. Yeah. All right, children. So that's it for today's session.